if he would fit into any other sort of existing decks.
Well, did you forget about Yoda, Keeper of the Peace? Because we already have that goes in every deck except Diplo, if you want a fully immune Yoda.
Yeah, no, I gotcha, I gotcha. I was just pointing out, you know, that I think you're right that the other Yoda is probably just better. So this really that probably answers the question, I suppose. This really is going to be limited to a mind what you have learned next. So I guess with that,
Oh no, I think it'll be great in Diplo. I think this guy's going to be really good in a flipping version of Diplo because of the complete immunity. And power 3 is just enough, and he draws on his own. And then, like if you're getting plus maybe 3 from your objective to your total battle destiny, then this dude can no doubt he can totally hold a site.
all right,
And he's cheap too. He's cheap, and if you can't hit him, you're definitely not beating him down if you can't hit him. And Diplo does play the keep your eyes open also. So if they come at him with lightsabers, what I don't like about this, what I don't like about the card is actually it's kind of its intent, like to go along with Mind What You've Learned. Mind What You've Learned is a very delicate theme that, in order to make work, needs pretty much complete to probably about 60-70% overhaul. And unless there are other plans in place for other stuff to do with Mind What You've Learned, but now if we do end up doing any other helpers for that objective, they're all going to have to revolve around what was done with this one card in this one set. So I don't know. Do you have any other plans for Mind What You've Learned stuff in the future, Matt?
So I don't know if you guys knew this, but this is also a player card. But we have talked about Mind What You've Learned and what we could do to fix it. This card we liked when we saw it from the player, and we wanted to try it out, see how it tested, and also to kind of build around this whenever we do build out Mind What You've Learned in the future, which we've talked about. There's no concrete plans at this time, but we've had some discussions on how to make Mind What You've Learned more of an interactive deck to get some battlegrounds out and not have it kind of turtle so much for the first 5 turns.
The cancel and redraw is pretty cool, though, and I think there's already been some discussion on the forums about testing to 1 or testing to 3, doing halfway testing just to get that text online. And yeah, it's something that might be worth playing around. I mean, playing around with like starting off giving up 2 icons as Mind What You've Learned does is really dinky. Like a 2/2 force generation starting ratio is just so brutal to overcome. But you can pretty much ace the first 3 tests in no time, and then you get all the benefits from those tests, and also now you get this super cool once per turn cancel and redraw. So yeah, it might be something like, if I had to project where that would land on a tier list, I would say low, or well, maybe high tier, mid to high tier 3. But it gives people something to play around with anyway.
Yeah, new fun toys.
yeah.
Competitively, though, this guy definitely. Don't you agree, Matt? That this guy definitely has a spot in Diplo.
I think it's a good consideration. Yeah, I mean, the full immunity, like you said, and the inability to get beat down because of your battle destiny is a good point. And energetic presence as well, and he could maybe do some damage with OP1.
Let me ask, do you guys know, I guess this is maybe more for Matt, the graphics people, are they going to be making white border and black border versions of, there's a lot of cards that have white border Yoda, and then the Help Me Obi-Wan that we're going to get to, and some others. Will we be able to play white border cards with white border slips, or is that...
The PDF generally just has black bordered versions, unless it's a card like Kylo that only exists as a white border other than the foil. But you can always use VKit to print out white bordered V slips of any card you want. And that even includes cards that don't have a white border underlying card. So if you love white bordered cards, like I know Tom Haid definitely loves them, you can print out your whole deck in white bordered cards. It's a wonderful site. Highly recommended.
How about that, Brad? Does that rock your world or what? Brad's like, where's VK been all my life? I could have been playing with whiteboarded virtual cards for all of my virtuals.
And Reed and I go back and forth. Reed hates white border. Nate Meeker hates white border. I love white border. Um,
I
but
love Whiteware. I'm with you, Grant.
yeah. I have used VKit actually to make white border cards before. It's been a while since I printed stuff, so I had forgotten about that. Yeah, VKit's a great resource. So definitely
I got
check that
Whiteboard
out.
Gray, Whiteboard Solo floating around. I use them all the time.
Gosh, my gosh. All right. Well,
So,
that
guys, let me just say, I've got about 10 minutes. So we're on the effects and interrupts part. If we could try to wrap up in 10 minutes, that would be great.
Oh man, he's got to tend to Addy.
all right.
I have an unwell cat.
Okay.
So you went online and Rebel fleets were expensive. Is that right?
No, they were not expensive. They were not available.
Crazy.
So-
and you don't think that if you had stuck with this card on Rebel Fleet, then they would have become available?
No, I do not.
Oh,
And if
weird.
they did become available, I think they would be about $10 to $15 a piece.
Wow, that's crazy. And they
So-
say the card availability is not a problem.
Yeah. To give some background, this card originally was Rebel Fleet V, and once I looked up how many Rebel Fleets were available to the player base on the internet, I found that the answer was none, except for a few on eBay, which was not quite a reliable source of it. So we made the move to switch to a Cloud City rare instead of a special edition rare. We had some trouble finding the right image for it. I thought Rebel Fleet was a great image for it. Haven's pretty good too, and we changed the name to a Rogue One quote to kind of fit with the whole theme here. So this card is like an established control / mobilization points mirror. You can pull a system, you get extra generation and docking days. I love this card too. It's probably my second favorite.
Shall we evaluate it simultaneously with the broken ship that it pulls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I was really interested in some feedback on. That ship seems absurd.
How abusive is a ship? Like, I'm not going to ever want to deploy to space as a dark side player.
Yeah.
Even if they don't start the effect?
Yeah, even then, like, how do I know they don't have this, that they're just going to bomb on me for 2 force? It's ridiculous.
It's a good card for sure.
Go back and watch the game of, let's see, what was it? The game that took place after my game of hate. So it was Chris Kelly and Greg Shaw, and Greg Shaw was playing, this was at Nats in the semifinals. Greg Shaw was playing IE, and
Yep.
Chris Kelly bombed on him at the system with Queen's Royal Starship, rigged in the Queen's Royal Starship, which, as I learned, is apparently just boostering Pulsar Skate with slightly better numbers. Now imagine if he didn't have to pay 5 force for that ship, and he only had to pay 2 force for a massive Power 6 capital. That would have been another character he could have put on there, and bombed on Greg Shaw even worse.
Yeah, and don't forget that it's a Mon Calamari Star Cruiser, so your drains are +1 with launching the assault.
Oh. Sweet.
Right, so is this really what Lightside needs? More good cards for Lightside.
I like
So we're
that.
talking about the profundity. If for those following at home, if you have your spoiler list handy, it's a 6 power ship that deploys for 6, but -2 to a system the opponent occupies, and -4 if that's an opponent's system. And then it's a star cruiser, so it's got all this capacity, just no immunity, and the pilot has ability to.
And it's got capacity for Cannon 4 or
Already,
Pyro.
yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty neat. Yeah, I mean, so in decks that are going to start this Rebellions or build on Hope, they're definitely going to play the Profundity, and then, they're probably going to play one of these systems, but if they opening hand it, just grab the ship, or against some people, maybe just don't even, if they give you a system, just go get the ship immediately. Yeah, pretty interesting.
So the effect actually, I think, is going to have a bigger impact on deck building overall, because I think it does open up a lot of possibilities. It gives you a little bit more of an activation base, something to consider with some docking bay decks. Pull a system, which is something that Lightside couldn't do for free before. So I'm interested in trying this effect in a lot of different things like Throne Room or Diplo or maybe even OA and some of the things like that. I think this effect is going to open things up a lot for Lightside.
Yeah, definitely. guess that's all really to say on that. Do we wanna just skip some of the cards, or do we just want to try to rapid fire through all of them real quick? What do you
Let's
guys?
rapid fire them.
Okay.
Knock them out. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi is broken. It does way too much. I can take care of myself is cool. Wait, is that a player card or a design card?
Which one?
The female card, I can take care of myself. That's really cool. That's a cool card.
The design card.
Yep, and it's a great like multi-purpose interrupt, and it's balanced by a nice decent Destiny 4. Good card. They're tracking us is an awful card. No, I mean just kidding. It's great. We need a program trap counter. It's about time. It's a little unoriginal with the basic dark time mirror, and you know how much I love mirrors. Shoot. This is my ship we would have to evaluate with the ship and the chick. Hera doesn't draw Destiny right on her ship.
No, she does not.
Yeah, so and all these other cards that this is my ship pools we don't have except well Kanan and Sabine. No, but help me Obi-Wan Kenobi. Wow, that card does a lot.
Yeah, that's Mike Anderson's card, right?
What's that?
It works against Greedo, it works against Elsic, it works against any battle droid.
Any droid in the world.
Any droid.
Yeah.
And then adding a Destiny is super far-reaching, and of course Obi-Wan. I mean, you can already add a Destiny with Rebel leadership. Obi-Wan with very commonly played cards, leadership, and this, he can be drawing 3 Destiny in a battle by himself. And of course, I'm thinking like this card in like in Watch Your Step specifically because you can play it and then play it again.
True.
Yeah. It's a good place for it.
Also,
it's.
Well, go ahead.
Just it's a 3 Destiny, and it's also a hologram. So if you play Escape Pod, you can pull it with that, I believe.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's
No,
cool.
Escape Pod doesn't pull holograms, right? Or it pull projections still. It just pulls Digerics, right?
Why didn't we fix that with the reset?
We did, didn't we? That's what I'm saying.
You're right. Yeah, actually, Escape Pod doesn't pull holograms, just Digerics or holocytes.
Huh. Cool. It also randomly cancels a react, which may not come up a ton, but it's a card that's not sense that cancels a react. So
Gonna come up against Matt's Saber 4, his favorite card.
yeah.
Oh, the Saber 4.
Yeah, why didn't you do something to get rid of the react canceling on this text so you could play your Saber 4 with impunity?
I actually kind of like a few extra cards that cancel reacts. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Just sort of jumping around.
Luke's hunting rifle, was this made by somebody who doesn't like Arctic Wii?
I actually don't know if this person likes Arctic Wii or not, but it is a player card.
Yeah, this works on Owen and Baru, right? Like the 450 thing. Okay, cool. So this is my ship. So if all those guys are in play, you can do like +8 to your total battle destiny. Is that right?
Talking about a card that needs a limit.
Yeah.
It's I guess it could probably use like a limit like the what's it called? Take the Initiative has, which is a +6. A limit that would never actually see use because you're never going to have all 8 of them in battle together.
Yeah, or the limit on Savage that's never going to see use because you're never going to have 5 Sith characters at a location and then still want to deploy Savage.
I'm now determined to make a non-unique Sith character.
You can, but that wouldn't make it a good play.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe just the last thing I would say on these cards, the Ghost, not very impressive by itself, but potentially the Phantom, if that's real good, it's another card that can pull it, potentially. So that, I would guess the Phantom will be down the road at some point. Is that something that's already being developed, Matt?
The Phantom actually might come out in the next set or two. We have some ideas for it. But you know what? Now, as we're talking about this, I actually have to go back and check. And this card may have actually been changed since the spoiler came out. So I will.
Interrupt. This is my ship.
Yeah, this is my ship. I'll have to look at that and tell you what I'll do is I'll bump the